transplanting. Transplantings are really fun and easy, especially if you have overseeded. Whoops, I'm very sorry. Did not mean to advance that slide. So most of the time I will start to transplant usually about if we've been really warm, sometimes even the end of April, but more than likely like the first week of May is usually when I'm starting to transplant. And I will transplant all the way into June, especially if something's just really slow or we've had just an incredibly cool spring, which I just hate. I love having warm or love having average spring temperatures. So when to transplant, you want to wait until you have a really strong root system. Now, if I had taken this Angelica and I had only put in 1 seed per plant, it would be probably into July before I'd even be able to transplant, or maybe even like when summer starts. But having a big clump, it's called like a hunk of seedlings to form one plant is the key to success. So what I'll do is I'll cut the, when I know a lot of times, that's one thing nice about having the clear plastic containers, I can kind of see the roots along the edges of the clear containers. I can see how much roots are there. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut all 4 sides. Sometimes if I'm really having a hard time getting the plants out, I might add a cut in between, so 8 cuts instead of 4. And then I will take it out. You can see the photo on the very top. That was just last early April. This is lupins and a beautiful, beautiful perennial. You can see I've got 3 inches of soil there. I love it when I dig down in there and into my milk carton and I can just pull it up and it is all one compact, like one plant. It's just so much easier to divide. And you just divide into as many plants as you need. This Angelica gingas, for example, I divided it into 9 plants, as you can see before. You can transplant them into a larger pot, which is what I like to do, because then I set up shelves up against my house on the east side of my house. And it gets morning and up until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon sun, and I just let them sit there and I let them grow in these little pots, and then I share them and I give them to the plant sales that I'm donating to. But you can also put them directly into the ground if you'd like. I want to make sure that plant gets a little bit larger and taller so that if the bunny decides to come in and nibble, I still have plenty of plant left. I don't have to worry about losing that particular plant. So here is kind of a step-by-step. This is a plant called Lychnis orange gnome. It's a perennial plant. This is also from last year. I love the fact that I took it out. It was very nice and root bound, and I just took little pieces of it and just slowly broke it apart, and voila, final plant that I put into the pot. So that's basically how you transplant. The veggies are really easy to transplant because their roots grow really fast and very deep, unlike some of the flowering plants. So that's why I like to overseed. And then I want to share with you just one kind of fun example that I took last year. So I grew several containers of Columbine Blue Star, which is a beautiful blue and white perennial plant that blooms in spring. And I took a piece of it, a chunk of it from another container, and that's when I put that in this 3-inch pot. And then I went into my garden and I took the Columbine Blue Star that I grew the previous year in 2020. So this photography was done in 2021, probably around, I want to say like end of May, and I dug that out and put it in a pot so you can see what it looks like. A plant that is a whole bunch of seedlings magically is just one plant. it just knows how to turn itself into one plant. And this is what it looked like at the end of 2020 in the fall. It looked just like this. And then it died back, and then I dug it out and put it in a larger pot because I was giving it away to somebody. So that is it on transplanting. Again, into pots or into the ground. I'm really all about putting into smaller pots, just because it works really well for me.